Good morning and welcome to the ranches at Belt Creek. My name is Jenny and I've been the head wrangler here for about 9 years, and we're going to put together a little instructional video for you today to help you have a more enjoyable and safe ride with us or wherever you might be riding. This is Anna, also a wrangler here, and she's going to be our model today and demonstrate all of the things that I explained to you. So the first area I would like to address is how to behave around the horses when you first arrive at the barn. So when the horses are tied at the hitching rail can be one of the more dangerous times. They're either can be sparring with each other or, like they are now, just virtually asleep. So if a horse doesn't know you're there and you startle them, that would be a likely time that they could kick out or bite at you. So when you approach a horse, just walk up to the shoulder, make sure the horse knows you're there. You can watch George's ear there turn toward Anna when she realized she was coming. Once you have contact with the horse, you can then move around the horse, maintaining contact so they know where you're at. It's important when you first arrive at the barn to have quiet energy. It's really hard with kids because everybody's very excited to come see the horses, meet the horses, ride the horses. But just try to have everybody maintain kind of a quiet demeanor. So next we'll address the proper way to mount the horse, the proper posture when you're on the horse, and the proper way to handle the reins. Anna's also going to demonstrate the importance of proper footwear. And I understand that it's not reasonable to expect people coming on vacation to go drop hundreds of dollars on cowboy boots and clothes that they're never going to use again. So I will go over some options that are the best for footwear if you don't have cowboy boots. So Anna's going to go ahead and climb the mounting block, put her left foot in the stirrup, just so the ball of the foot is on the stirrup, and then stand straight up and sit down quietly in the seat. Next is her posture. So I want you to have basically a straight line from your heel to your hip to your shoulders. So you sit back in the saddle and relax. People's general tendency, if they're a little nervous, is to want to hunker down over the horn. Go ahead and do that. And that will kick your feet back, you're forward, and that will be an indication to your horse that you might want to speed up and go faster if you're squeezing with your legs and your legs are back and your posture is leaning forward. So it's important to just sit down and relax. When you're holding the reins, which are also your brakes and steering, you want to have a little bit of slack in the rein between your hand and the mouth when you're going down the trail and you want your horse to move forward. If you're pulling back on the reins, that is an indication that you want to slow down or stop. When you're sitting on the horse, proper posture would be a straight line from your heels to your hips to your shoulders. So try not to lean forward or back in the saddle. You want your feet to have just the ball of your foot on the stirrup with your heel drop down lower than your toe. This is a good opportunity to show you why this type of footwear is not the safest. If your foot were to go all the way through your stirrup like that and you happen to come off your horse, you could be drugged by the horse. So the cowboy boot's built to keep your foot out of the stirrup. Now Anna is in a little more appropriate footwear. Cowboy boots are designed to have a heel that will keep your foot from going through the stirrup and a slick bottom that will allow your foot to slide easily out of the stirrup. They are also built to come off your foot in a last-ditch effort. If you happen to come off the horse and be hung up in the stirrup, there's a chance you could get your feet out of the boot itself. So I want the ball of your foot on the stirrup, heels down. That will keep your foot from going too deep into the stirrup or from the stirrup falling off of your toe. Your legs are the gas pedal for the horse, so when you squeeze the body of the horse, that will tell the horse to speed up, which is what gets people in trouble if they're a little nervous and they're tense and they're wanting to hold on to the horse with their legs. So you balance in the stirrup by pushing down, and your reins, the part in your hand that's connected to the horse's mouth, should have a little slack in them when you're going down the trail. You want a horse to move forward, and they act as your brakes and steering. If you want the horse to slow down or stop, you pull straight back on the reins. Once they're stopped, reward them by giving them a little slack. If you continue to pull back after your horse has stopped, they will start to back up. And then people tend to pull harder to get the horse to stop backing up, which makes them back up faster. So as soon as they stop, just give them a little slack again. If you have a knot in your reins, generally the knot down by the neck will give the horse the right amount of slack in the reins so that they will just move out nice and relaxed. The reins are also steering. Just take your rein to the left or right. Here Anna is demonstrating a more direct rein, which means you're pulling on the side that you want to turn to. You can also neck rein most of the horses, which means just to take the reins in your hand, left or right. So just a little more detailed instruction and demonstration about proper rein handling. When you're going down the trail, there will be occasion where you might have to control the direction of your horse. They're pretty wise about what branches of trees they fit under and you don't. So you want to be able to move your horse from left or right, or even turn them all the way around. So when you're going down the trail, just reach forward toward the ears of the horse, and then to the right or left. Left. To the right. If that does not get your horse to do the maneuver you're trying to get them to do, you can reach down with your hand and direct rein, which means pull the head in the direction you want the horse to go. Like steering a car, it's easier to change direction if the horse is in motion. So it's hard to turn a horse while they're standing still. So the first thing you would want to do is just ask them to get moving their feet and then turn. So when you're riding down the trail and the horse is relaxed, they tend to carry their head nice and low, and people will start to work their hand toward the back of the rein to give the horse more rein. Then if something happened on the trail to make your horse jump or spook, you wouldn't have any brakes. When you'd go to pull back, your reins would be too long. So even when you're relaxed going down the trail, keep your hand in the proper position, close enough to the mouth that when you pull back, you can slow your horse down without running into your body or having to lean back to stop your horse. So one thing to be aware of on the trail is to keep your horse's head up. They are going to try to eat, and you can see here that that poses a hazard if they step on their rope or through their lead rope or on their reins. It also causes you to slide your hand too far back on the reins, and if they picked their head up and spooked at something, you wouldn't have any brakes or steering. So when you're going down the trail, the way to reprimand a horse for trying to eat is to correct them before they get their head to the ground. Here Anna will lift Chili's head. And if we can get Chili to try to go back for another bite, right here, Anna will pop the reins up in the horse's mouth before she gets her head down. Every time they reach for a bite of hay or grass and are successful, they're going to try again and again. So if you can correct the behavior before it happens, they will eventually quit trying to eat on the trail. The other ally you have to prevent them from trying to eat is forward motion. So when they drop their head to eat, just ask them to move forward with your legs, squeeze with your heels, or even give a little bit of a kick. One more thing to be aware of on your ride is that your saddle stays centered on your horse. A couple horses are more inclined to have the saddle slip because of their conformation. So when you feel like, you can see here Anna's left leg looks a little more bent than her right. Her right leg, she's reaching down to try to get the stirrup. Her left leg is kind of cocked up. That's an indication that your saddle is leaning to the right. So you want to put your weight in your left stirrup and jerk your saddle back to the center of the horse. So at the end of the ride, I would ask that everybody just remain on your horse, and one of the wranglers will come assist you in dismounting. Dismounting seems like one of the easiest things, but it's actually one of the things that seems to cause the most safety issues. The wrangler will approach your horse and control the head, and then you will back your foot out of the stirrup so there's just enough of your foot in there to stand on. Stand up on your left leg, bring your right leg behind you, and lower yourself down to the ground.
Hey guys, Thank you for watching this video. If you have any other questions regarding this video, if there's any sort of videos that you guys want to see in the future, please leave comments, like, subscribe, all the good stuff. We're gonna have all sorts of good videos coming at you. Thanks again.